And I think we are live.
Hold on a second.
You
We're
can't hold
live?
on a second. We're live.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's
Yeah,
just.
we are live. In fact,
Hi.
Hagit, how's it going?
Good. Good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for joining me in this live discussion today on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Yeah,
And
it's a pleasure.
man, what an extraordinary circumstances. I don't know. I know that you guys live in the Los Gatos Mountains area, and I mean, even in San Jose, I can see all the smoke and everything out there. How's it been like over there? You guys seen a lot of smokes and
It's
evacuation?
very, it's very unpleasant, and I know of people that lost their homes or their friends lost their homes, and it's very bad. There are teachers in the high school that were evacuated, so
Oh my goodness.
it's not easy, and it's a really serious fire here in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I really want to acknowledge you for taking time out of your busy life, given all the extraordinary circumstances that's going on, and actually sit with me on this thought-provoking financial discussion that we're going to have. So, again, thank you for being here. Now, so everyone out there on Facebook and LinkedIn and the social media space that are watching this video, so thank you for being here with us as well. This episode of Money Talks Silicon Valley. Money Talks Silicon Valley, by the way, is a group that I created with the intention to bring finance and money related conversation to the social media place, to really give a platform for people get to ask everyday money related questions, anything from whether it's the right time to buy real estate, to refinance your mortgage, whether you should contribute to IRA, or how to financially organize your life, or in today, we're going to be talking about, why it is important that we have a financial discussion with our children. So, Money Talk Silicon Valley can be found on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube with the hashtag Money Talks SV, or Money Talks Silicon Valley. So, welcome to today's discussion. So today, I am most excited to actually introduce to our audience Hagit Koren. And Hagid and I mean, we have known each other for many years, and so professionally, she's a professional organizer. She owns Rediscover Your Home. That's the name of her company, and her mission really is to help people clean up the clutter at home and clean up the mindset. Right. So I visited your website recently, and something that really struck me was that you said on your website that your home is actually a reflection of your mindset, right? And
Yeah.
I couldn't agree to it more. I mean, sometimes as you know, Lisa and I are right in the middle of a move to our new house, and our home right now is a mess. I mean, the furniture's all been moved. There's stuff everywhere. My boxes all over the place, and it gives me such anxiety. Just looking at my own home. I'm not a clean freak by any measure, but man, just stuff out of place, it gives me such stress and anxiety. So I first just want to ask you, what gives you the inspiration to start this business? That's Rediscover Your Home.
Sure. So I was an engineer for many years, and yes, which is not
What kind of
what
what kind of
most
engineer?
people. I was doing a hardware engineering, but I was always a people's person, and when I did actually Landmark, I met you there also, and I was coaching there, and I was looking for
Yes.
to change my career. I knew that I people have a lot to stress about for some reason. There are so many reasons, but I found my way to help people through organizing because people fall to the trap that like the American dream says that if you earn a lot of money, you can buy
Mm.
anything, and then you'll have a big house full with stuff and you'll be happy, and this is a trap. Now everybody knows, and there are researchers about that the more you buy, the more stress you have. And you waste money, and then you have to get rid of it. So people say, oh my gosh, and then you start closing the door in your home and say, I don't want to look at this room, it gives me
Yeah.
stress. People tell me that, and I know it's from people. They tell me, is my house the worst house? Is like so even my kid tells me, I have a 22-year-old, and he tells me the first thing I look when I go into people's house is how the house looks. How their parents behave. Like if I have a girlfriend, how the parents behave and how the house looks. So even my son knows that. So and also it's a big waste of money buying all this stuff. So it's a big trap in many senses, and people just don't want to deal with that. So they're kind of in denial. And I thought that, if I help people organize their home, their home will be their refuge rather than their headache. They'll save money. They'll have a better family life. Everything will work better in their life. And this is the goal. This is the way I found to help people. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really got that. Thank you for sharing. I actually got your commitment to being of contribution to the people, right? And I could certainly relate to what you're saying now, right? I said earlier that Lisa and I have been moving, right? And we have an opportunity to really box up everything that we have and actually, to get rid of them. And in the process, it's such a freeing process, actually. I'm discovering there's so much stuff that I have at home. As you know, I live a very active lifestyle. I have 2 kayaks and an RV, and I have enough gear to outfit 5 people to go scuba diving, or 3 people to go backpacking, or I have a 6 pair of skis, 2 motorcycles, and all this. I mean, like, it's amazing the amount of stuff that people end up collecting over the years. And Lisa and I found ourselves, we want to do the Marie Kondo model, right? To say, to appreciate something and get rid of it. But then at the same time, we're finding ourselves looking for excuses, looking for ways to actually keep something, right?
Yes.
Maybe I might need it someday. What if I needed something, right? It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a client told me here, I'm from Minnesota. What if it snows here?
Right. Exactly.
So I know people have these original ideas, but it's basically just excuses by them, and they don't want to deal, or they do want to deal with that, but it's hard. So you raised an important thing, that I'm a third party. So people give their stuff meaning, but the stuff
Yes.
has no meaning. Actually, the whole life does not have meaning. We just want to be happy, so that's the meaning of life. And this
I
stuff,
absolutely agree.
it just stops us from being happy. So when I'm there, they sometimes, a lot of times, tell me, that was much easier than I thought.
I absolutely agree. You know what? I have 2 dogs, and one of my dogs, Chester, is blind. He has no eyes. He has no eyes, right? His eyes were like physically removed because of he suffered from glaucoma, and he just bumped around his head, and goes sniffs around. And when people find out that he's blind and he has no eyes, people always say to me, "Oh, what a poor dog," and "Oh, I'm so sorry," And I was looking at him. I'm like, "Ooh, look at my dog. Does he look like he's sorry?
He's happy.
Does he feel like that he's having a bad day?" I mean, this dog is happy as ever because the dog don't bring all these meanings of what life can be. It's the people that says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What is so difficult that you can't see?" And guess what? He has a great time. Not being able to see, sure, but he's sniffing around and being happy just like a dog.
Exactly.
It is the people that brings all of that emotion. So what I'm hearing from you actually is, instead of buying more stuff and creating more clutter, which adds no meaning to life itself, but actually, be decluttered and getting rid of stuff, and actually have the emotional and mental space to create what people really want in life, which is, time with their family, love, compassion,
Yes,
and things that actually contributes
exactly.
to living a good life. Great. I love it. I love the business model. Awesome. Very cool. So I also want to ask you, so I know that you being a TEDx speaker in Los Gatos High School when that was happening. And what a great opportunity to be speaking on such a recognizable platform. And I watched your TEDx, and something that you said actually really resonates with me because, as you know, I work in the areas of finance, and any financial related question that is just really, interests me, right? So you led a TEDx basically with the concept of we should start talking about finances with our children, right? So I really want to ask you about your inspirations about that, but before I want to share with you, right? Being Asian, right, growing up, in our ways, we did not have any financial discussion as I was growing up.
I don't
You
think
know,
it's related to Asians.
maybe not, but I'm just saying I can only speak from my own personal experience. And you know what? You're right. Many of the clients that I'm working with also shared with me that they growing up and never had a financial discussion about anything. Finance and money, especially how much money people make or how much money people spend, how much do they buy their house, and how big of a car they go. It's just like a stuff like that on an everyday basis. It's almost like a taboo kind of a subject. You
It
know,
is.
people don't talk about it. And the first time, I've met a client that the first time they talk about credit card is when she already had a credit card and was $20,000 in debt. And then they started talking about finance. So you led this conversation about it's important that why we should talk to our children about finance. So what's the inspiration behind that?
So first, I want to explain a little bit the background to how I got to do the TEDx. I was doing a self-expression and leadership program at Landmark for 4 months.
Mm,
You have to do a community project, and I was really like, this is important for me as a mom to teach my kids about finance and having
yeah.
skills for life. This is one of the skills. So I chose to do a financial awareness project. Then it got continued because I was coaching the session after at Landmark. They asked me to coach, and I was coaching there. So I went to the econ teacher at the high school, and he was a guy that worked 30 years in Wall Street, very
Mm,
established, very everything he does is for the kids, not for the money, and very smart guy. And he said, "Why don't you do the TEDx? We're not supposed to teach all that at school. It's not
mm,
in the syllabus. It's not in the curriculum. Like." And he said, "You should do it." So I applied, and this is how I got to it. And I especially directed it to the discussion between parents and kids,
mm,
because you can talk about a lot of things in finance. And what I wanted is a better future for the kids, because I don't want to be rough, but a lot of the parents put a lot of uh, so much time and stress about you should go to this college, you should learn that, you should do that. But this is all very important. I don't want to say it's not, but there is a gap, a really big gap. When kids go to college, they go to Harvard, I don't care. They don't know how to cook, they don't know how to manage their finances. They get a credit card debt, they get in trouble. It won't help them that they have a degree from those universities. So what I'm saying is that you got to have a balance between your life skills.
mm.
So you got to have all of it.
Yeah.
And you got to make them just be aware of things. For me, it was with my kids. I know that the first thing when they were teenagers, like I took them to the grocery store.
Now
Yeah, I
you
showed them this goes.
you grew up in Israel, right? So you
Yeah.
had children both in Israel. You raised your children both in Israel and here in the United States.
No, my oldest kid was 12 when he came here, so that was already here, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we're all people all around the same. It's the same issue in Israel, I guess. So there is difference in mentality, but what I'm wanting to stress is that when a kid comes and asks us, okay, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, and we say, oh, they're so spoiled. No, they're not spoiled. They have no clue what it costs and what it means for us to support that.
Yes.
So it's a very simple thing to take them to the grocery store for shopping and show them this ice cream costs this show. And honestly, my daughter is working at Lunardi's, so she knows how many things cost, and she also sees the bills that when people pay, and she tells me all that. And I think it's a lesson for life. It's except for the fact that she's saving money, she knows to appreciate the value of things, and she does shopping for me, and it's a basic things, but it's a skill for life. Now she knows how much things cost, and we have an open discussion on how much things cost. Like, you want a new computer? Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's have a discussion on if it makes sense or not. It's fine. If my son comes to me and he says, Mommy, why do you buy so much wine? And that's okay. I don't have any complaints to him. I'm not going to tell him it's my money, I can do whatever I want to. He has a point, so we're having a discussion about it. I do buy too much wine, that's for fact. So,
but that's what keeps his family going.
yeah, but it's okay.
I see.
It's really okay to have those discussions, and I think they all had a job when they could start working, and they all know the value of money, and that's okay. I'm not saying not to buy things. I like to buy expensive things. I like to have the good life. I'm not talking about this. You don't have to sacrifice this. You just have to know that you have to set priorities, and whatever you have, this is it.
Yeah. So now, so how old are your kids?
One just turned today 14, the little one.
Today,
Actually, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, and then I have a girl, 18-year-old, that works at Lunardi's, and I have almost 22, the son in Israel, and he's hopefully soon coming to visit. We haven't seen him.
So how old are they? Do you find that you can start having these conversations with them?
I started when they were like in the beginning of her teenage, like 13, 12, like the serious conversations. But you can start. There is no good age. The earlier, the better, I would say. Like in earlier ages, you have to talk in different ways.
Yeah.
You're not going to take them, show them a finance TV show or something, or give them a book to read. But when my son was 12 or 13, I took him to Trader Joe and showed him things,
I see.
And he was 17. He was working at Fry's and fixing computers for people. He learned his skills, and people liked him, and he started to work at it. People asked him to come and build computers for them. So the earlier you do it, the better. Like, just have a discussion.
So, other than taking them to grocery stores or coffee shops and things like that, do you also, like, what other subjects about money do you talk with your children about?
With my kids?
Yeah, like, say, many people tells me that so what are some of the subjects that you talk with them about?
I think the important thing to stress out for kids is that if you even, like, when you're 15, you can start working. If you even save, that you have to start saving, even if it's $100 a month, the power of the interest rate, like, you can do, those calculations better than I do. Like, when I show my kids that if they save $10,000 a year, what it will be in 30 years, and they see the numbers, are like, wow, like, I don't believe it. Like, but it is just put a little bit aside, and that makes all the difference. So what the point is, though, no matter how much you make X, you decide on a Y to save. And that's what I told my son when he started the tries. I thought, I don't care how much you make. You decide. I spend this and I save this. And he
Yeah.
committed to that. So that's kind of like a habitual behavior that starts early. And
Yeah.
it's so easy for kids to adopt that.
Yeah.
It's the same with like sports. Like I play tennis and my son is learning tennis. So I'm over 50. So whatever I learn now, I have these bad habits from the past that I go back
Right.
to when I'm in stress when I'm playing.
Right.
But if you're like a clear canvas, like and like you're 14 and you're learning how to hit the ball right, then soon my son is going to hit better than me, and I'm waiting for this moment. So that's exactly what I want our kids to be able to learn, that yes, you need to save money even if it's little.
Yes.
So everything matters, like even the $5 on the Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
It doesn't come for free when you when you click on the
Right.
app, you know. So
Right.
you have to live your life, but you have to commit to saving something, and that would be the thing that in the future would make the difference for you and your family, and you won't be that stressed, and you would be able to enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I really got that.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, um, what about if, so I have a lot of people tell me that, they want to have a conversation with their kids about finances, but they don't know how. And they're concerned that their own finances are not that great. Maybe they're in debt. Maybe they're carrying credit cards. Maybe they're just not very proud of where they are at. And so they feel very difficult to have a conversation with their kids. What do you say to that?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I was talking about at the TEDx. Why aren't we talking to our kids? Because we are not comfortable about it. So that's why you just go with those simple things. Don't start with the complicated things. Just show them the grocery stores and show them the calculation of if you save $100 a month, how much you'll have in 30 years. And
Yeah.
that's it. You don't try to say, oh, you'll have a credit card debt, you'll have this. Don't talk to them in a positive way. Show them their opportunity, not what you did wrong, but what they can do right. So just keep it simple. I really believe it's that simple. Show them how, when you go with them to the bank, open an account. Show them, okay, you have a credit card. Credit card doesn't mean you can do this Apple Pay, and the resources, endless. Teach
Yeah.
them all that stuff. Don't tell them I had a credit card. That will scare them. Like it's
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yeah.
talk about negativity. You want to just teach them what to do right.
Yes.
They're innocent now. They
Yeah.
don't have all this baggage from the past, so it's much easier to talk to them about that.
Yeah. It is always us that stands in the way, isn't it? Sometimes. Okay, cool. So now, what do you think is missing you have school age kids now here in the United States. What do you think is missing in the school system when it comes to finance?
What's missing is exactly what the econ teacher told me. It's not in the curriculum.
Mm.
It's like we're teaching our kids to fall to that. Those companies will come to them in college and sell them a credit card, and then we'll get into trouble. It's so easy. It's just like the system is built like. I feel like the system is built for us to purchase and purchase and purchase, and let's just that it. And with that system, even if I make $50,000 a month, it doesn't matter. If I spend it all, I'll be in the
Yeah.
same situation as somebody who makes $2,000 a month and spend it all. What's the difference?
Yeah.
So the system is like trapping us to not a very good future. That's why it's our responsibility as parents to to come and take a stand and talk to them. And
Yeah.
especially if we didn't do well, we want our kids to do well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I
I
got
think
that.
that's what's missing, and I don't think it's gonna change because it's not in the curriculum. So this we need to take it
Well,
into our responsibility.
yeah. So now, why are some of the parents are so stressed about finance?
Why the parents are stressed about finance?
Yeah.
Because you need money to survive in this world, and I think,
Yeah.
like, if let's say my in-law had or my dad has a pension, people today do not have a pension. So it's all on my responsibility from an early age to survive myself. My employer is not going to give me anything, any benefits. Like 401k is nothing, and not all employers uh, give that benefit. So, and it's limited, even if they do. So it's getting, everything is switching to everything is on me. Health insurance is benefit, everything is, so we have to take care of it from younger age.
Yeah.
Nothing is like, we don't have any securities for the future unless we create them for ourselves. That's the issue. And it's extreme in the US because in Israel, for example, it's the law that the employers have to pay for their a lot. They pay a lot for their employees. So here it's not that. So it's 40 years, more than 40 years, if I'm correct, like that. So this is why it's stressful. It's like, what if I don't have enough money? Why it always creates this cycle? What will happen tomorrow? So we need to. I believe in like many drops in the sea. Many drops they create a sea, right? So
Mm.
we need to do this little and little things. Like I thought, this $100 a month. This we need to every dollar that we waste less on things we don't have to every month is good for us. That's why I started now the service called financial organizing, where I check people's fees to the bank, credit cards that they have
Mm.
hundreds of dollars of fees on a year, and they don't even need insurance that they can play them with them to reduce the premiums on the same coverage. There's a lot of check, refine, like a lot of things to say. If there's a habit that sticks out in their expenses that they can cut without hurting their lifestyle, that can create hundreds and hundreds of dollars of saving a month. And this is what would, in the end, make their future better. And they would make them worry less and happier. And stress, we know that stress causes cancer and it causes
Oh,
disease. Everybody knows that. So the first thing I want to reduce for people is their stress. That's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
yeah. Thank you. I really got your commitment to that. For people, reducing stress and living a healthier life. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, as I hear, what people tell me, right, is oftentimes they are unable to save towards the future because their current lifestyle just demands the entirety of their paycheck. They don't see how they can go, from living paycheck to paycheck to actually just, create a savings. So something's got to be sacrificed, right?
you're right. Many people say this, and it's kind of a denial that, yeah, I live from, what do you mean? It's so expensive to live here. I live from paycheck to paycheck. There's no way I can save. And yeah, it is hard to live here in the Silicon Valley, of course, when the
Yeah.
expenses are so high. But on the other hand, there's always something you can do, even if it's little, to save. And I can show people, and that's my passion to do that, to show people. I clean sometimes. I organize pantries and I throw food of hundreds of dollars to, like, people buy food because they don't see what, or they just buy it because they're stressed and they want to buy more. And then then they throw the food. Isn't that a waste? Couldn't you save that? Of course you can. Couldn't you, like, sometimes I tell my clients, can't you just hold your finger on the bottom on the Amazon Prime, and could you like hold it a little bit and cut it just a little bit, maybe 20%? And suddenly a month later said, you know what, my Amazon Prime got cut by a third and I don't feel anything missing. So
you just give me an idea. You just give me an idea. I feel like if we can enroll Amazon to transform their checkout system from the 1-click checkout to now 3-click checkout, and even just 2-click checkout, they really say, are you sure you want to spend this much money on this thing? That would have been just like be a fundamentally transform how people save money.
Yeah, there is a way to save. I know it's not easy, but that's what I do. That's what I love to do. And everybody can do it. I mean, that's the good news. Don't be discouraged by anything. If you decide that you can make a change in your habits and your life, and again, I'm not talking about compromising in your lifestyle, okay? I'm talking about sometimes we do need to do that, but in some cases, but in most cases, everybody can save more without compromising on their lifestyle. And nobody wants to compromise on lifestyle.
Yeah, thank you. Those are some real good words of wisdom there. I feel like, just talking to you, I already feel lighter about having a conversation with people I'm working with about saving money. And, when they're giving me the runarounds about, oh, I just can't do it, and it's so hard. So thank you for that. Now, I want to ask you, if someone were to start from today, like nothing, but, they really want to take this conversation to their children. I got that on one level they have to get complete with their own financial situation first, right? They have to know that they have to get to a point where they're comfortable and confident with whatever that they've already created, such that there's no complications when they go talk to their kids about finances. But what are some of the what are some of the conversations that they can start to have with their kids? What are some of the areas that they can look if someone were to start?
For the parents with the kids? Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned before, I like to cook. I like to talk about food. So the groceries for me. The grocery is a big thing in the house. How to buy smartly, like look at the pantry, look at the fridge. Don't buy if it's too full. Look at the prices of stuff. Know how much things cost. And that's the first thing. Organize your room. I love working with teenagers on organizing the room because I think organizing skills, like it would help them at school. It would help them later at work, at university, anything in life. Being organized will mean to them automatically to save money. Like if you know what you have, if you have enough notebooks, you don't buy more notebooks. Okay, if you have enough envelopes in your office, you don't buy 300 envelopes. And those are the things, like if you can find things and know where they are located, you're not gonna buy what you don't need. And that's a second way to go ahead for them. And the third thing is like to set the priorities. Explain to them, okay, we have this amount of money. You get to decide what to do with that. You can't have it all. So decide what's most important to you and live with that. I think those are the key aspects of things.
Yeah, got it. So actually, having a real conversation about money and involve, some of the more older children in the actual decision-making process, right? To actually have them see what does it actually take to do something like this. And actually, you know what? I want to share with you something. I actually got an opportunity to do this with a teenager that I coached for a while. And in our conversation, it became clear to me that he was not present to, and he has a single mom, right? But he was not present to what his mom have to do to actually live in that neighborhood that they live in. Now she's a VP of marketing at a tech firm, right? And so I asked him, how much money do you think that it costs to live in that 3,500 square feet house and in that neighborhood and drive a Tesla to go to work and do all of that? What do you think it'll cost on a monthly basis? And what do you think that your mom makes on every year? And she's like, and he goes, I don't know, $60,000, $80,000, maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe that's how much money. No, his mom makes $400 some thousand a year being a VP but they still are in that same situation where they're living paycheck to paycheck because of all these things that they're committed themselves to, right? It's the same kind of a situation. So I absolutely agree that, having a conversation with their kids early about this is vitally important. Absolutely.
That's an excellent example of like, first, that no matter how much you make, and with this kind of income, you can live really well and save a lot of money.
But they're not.
And second thing, their kid doesn't know anything. So that's what I'm saying. Some parents are they're working all day, like they don't have enough time to spend with the family or just take the moment to show them like how much this costs. So don't start with, okay, how much this house costs, or like, I mean, how much this house costs is, it's important, but start with simple things. Yeah. How much this game that you want to buy costs? How much this ice cream costs? Like, start with, and they're not stupid, the kids. They will get it. That's what I'm saying, that you gotta give them the idea of how much it costs. And when looking at the numbers, they will say, oh my God. And they will appreciate it more. So I think the difference, like a good education, is that your kid appreciates what you give them. You know, that's where, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. I as a kid, I always got everything I wanted from my parents, and I got my tuition to study in Israel, which is not like here. But I always, on the other hand, always worked. Even when I was studying for engineering, I worked at the weekends, on weekends, selling flowers because I wanted to save money. And I saved money for a trip to the US. So even though I got everything, I appreciated everything I got, and I knew that I have to get after that on my own. And that's the difference. That's the message we have to give to our kids, that they're not just going to be spoiled kids that don't know anything about how much it costs.
Yeah, I really got that. Well, Hagit, well, that's I really enjoyed our conversation, and thank you for taking this important conversation to our audience here at Money Talks. I think deep down, what we all want as human beings, what we all want is being of a contribution for others, and being of a contribution and setting up our children to have better opportunity than that we have, and to set them up on the right direction, to give them the opportunity to grow and to become a successful young person, right? So I think today's conversation is just extremely relevant. So thank you for taking this to our audience. And for all of you out there, I invite you to get connected with Hagit and check out her website, rediscoveryourhomeorganizer.com. She can be found there. You can email her, or call her directly, and continue this conversation. This is important conversation to have with your family. So take this opportunity to actually, continue down this path and continue to explore. And with that, I want to say thank you, Hagit, once again for being here with us.
Thank you for having me with you. And anybody, really, I'm always here for anybody, for questions. Just feel free to contact me for anything, any help.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time. This has been Money Talks in Silicon Valley. And then if you've been watching, and I appreciate you spending the time with us, send me a message with the hashtag Money Talks Silicon Valley, or directly to me. I love to hear what topics that you wanna see me discuss in this channel. what areas of finance that would be of interest for you. So I will bring them to this audience. Okay, thank you, everyone. Talk to you next time.